Across Ohio, 11 shopping malls once anchored entire communities, places where thousands gathered, spent, and belonged. Today, most have vanished from the map. We are counting down 11 dead malls from Cleveland to Cincinnati, ranked by the scale of what was lost and the strangeness of what took its place. Some were leveled by tornadoes, others bled out over decades, and 3 were demolished, only to rise again as Amazon warehouses, the very force that helped kill them now sitting on their graves. We begin at number 11, with a mall whose ruins became more famous than it ever was alive. In the 11th place, Rolling Acres Mall in Akron lingers in the public imagination as a ruin more famous in death than it ever was alive. Opened in 1975, the 1 million square foot complex once drew crowds to its Sears, JCPenney, and O'Neill's anchors, its corridors echoing with the rituals of American shopping. But after its closure in 2008, Rolling Acres slipped into silence, until photographer Seth Lawless wandered its deserted halls. His haunting images, first published in Sleek magazine and later exhibited at the Akron Art Museum, turned the empty mall into a viral icon. Drone footage and abandoned mall forums spread the story worldwide, with Lawless's series amassing hundreds of thousands of views. The irony is hard to miss. The mall's viral afterlife drew more attention than its busiest decades. In 2023, the last walls fell, and the site was reborn as a 1.2 million square feet Amazon fulfillment center, employing around 1,300 workers. Where once shoppers drifted under fluorescent lights, now conveyor belts hum, a digital empire rising from the bones of retail nostalgia. In 10th place, Tri-County Mall in Springdale tells a different story, one stripped of nostalgia and rebuilt for utility. Opening its doors in 1972 with Sears and JCPenney as anchors, the mall quickly became a Cincinnati area landmark, drawing crowds to its 90 stores and a bustling food court. But by the early 2000s, the corridors emptied out and anchor losses mounted. JCPenney left in 1999, Sears left in 2002, and by 2010, occupancy had dropped below 30%. The property slipped into tax foreclosure in 2005, its glass doors boarded and its fountains dry. Demolition began in 2019, erasing decades of retail memory, and by 2020, the last fragments of the mall were gone. In their place, a 250-acre industrial park now sprawls across the site, its warehouses and loading docks humming with a new kind of commerce. The transition from retail haven to a heavy industry zone marks a pragmatic pivot, one that trades the echoes of shopping crowds for the steady churn of logistics and manufacturing. A fate that speaks to the breadth of Ohio's post-mall afterlife. Number 9, Midway Mall in Elyria stands as a quiet lesson in what becomes of lost gathering places. When its doors opened in 1979, the mall promised a new era for Lorain County, with Montgomery Ward and JCPenney drawing families in from the highways, and Glimcher's vision of suburban comfort buzzing through its corridors. By the time the last anchor left and the mall closed in 2012, the echoes of commerce had faded to silence. But unlike so many of Ohio's dead malls, Midway's story took a gentler turn. Demolition crews arrived in 2015, not to erase the past entirely, but to make way for a municipal sports complex, an experiment in civic reuse. Today, the city's plan repurposes the mall's shell for indoor tracks, gyms, and community classrooms, with outdoor recreation zones carved from the old parking lots. Instead of another warehouse or empty lot, Elyria's abandoned mall is set to become a space for play, fitness, and public life, a rare, hopeful afterlife amid Ohio's landscape of vanished retail dreams. 8th place, Salem Mall in Trotwood stands as a cautionary tale of how disaster can hasten decline. When its doors opened in 1970, Salem Mall was a beacon for Dayton's suburbs, anchored by Sears, JCPenney, and Younkers, with nearly 90 stores drawing crowds from across the region. But on a spring afternoon in 1995, an F4 tornado tore through Trotwood, ripping the roof from the concourse and reducing much of the mall to twisted metal and broken glass. The Ohio Department of Natural Resources cataloged the damage, millions in losses, and a shattered retail heart that never truly recovered. The lone survivor was the Sears building, its concrete frame left standing amid the wreckage, a stubborn relic, while the rest of the mall faded into vacancy. Over the next decade, foot traffic dwindled, anchor tenants vanished, and by 2009, the last lights flickered out. Demolition began in 2012, erasing the shell except for that solitary Sears, a rust-stained monument to both natural violence and economic unraveling. Today, the site is a business park, but the memory of a storm that finished what retail decline had started lingers in every empty lot and overgrown curb. Salem Mall's fate is a stark reminder. Sometimes it takes just one day to turn a gathering place into a ghost. Number 7. Northland Mall in Columbus stands as the prototype for Ohio's suburban retail dreams, a directional mall that charted the arc from optimism to obsolescence. When Northland opened in August 1964, it was an open-air marvel anchored by Lazarus and Sears, with 8,344 parking spaces stretching across a sea of asphalt. That first weekend drew 150,000 visitors, a turnout so vast it spilled onto Morse Road and filled the local news with images of shoppers navigating a modernist wonderland. In 1975, the mall was enclosed, transforming into a climate-controlled sanctuary just as suburban expansion crested. For a decade, Northland thrived. 2 levels of retail, a bustling food court, and peak sales that made it a Columbus landmark. Yet the very forces that built Northland, suburban flight, car culture, and endless parking, would by the 1990s drain its lifeblood away. Anchor losses began to mount, and by 2002 the last doors closed for good. The site's fate was neither dramatic nor viral. Demolition followed quietly, and in its place rose a municipal parking lot, a blank expanse where once the future seemed assured. Northland's life cycle, from record crowds to silent pavement, mirrors the rise and slow fade of the American mall, a story inscribed in concrete, memory, and the long shadow of vanished crowds. Number 6. Westland Mall in Columbus traces the slow pivot from retail cathedral to the sterile logic of the service economy. When its doors opened in 1975, Westland promised a new frontier on the city's western edge. JCPenney, Macy's, and Sears rising from a sea of asphalt, their neon signs glowing above 100 stores. For decades, families drifted through its climate-controlled corridors, the air thick with the scent of pretzels and perfume samples. But as the years wore on, the crowds thinned, and the anchors slipped away. Sears in 2009, JCPenney in 2014, Macy's in 2017, until only echoes remained. Receivership arrived in 2018, a bureaucratic limbo that signaled the end. Demolition swept through in 2020 and 2021, erasing the last fragments of a suburban dream. Now, the land waits beneath a grid of surveyors' stakes and raw earth marked for a sprawling medical office campus. The blueprints call for outpatient clinics, imaging suites, and a landscape plaza where parking lots once broiled in the summer heat. In place of retail spectacle, the future promises a procession of white coats and waiting rooms, a quiet testament to how the spaces that once sold everything now serve the body itself. Westland's afterlife is clinical, efficient, and strangely hollow, a new kind of gathering place, haunted by the memory of what once was. Number 5. Eastland Mall in Columbus stands as a stage for civic drama and the stubborn afterlife of suburban retail. When the doors opened in 1973, Eastland promised an era of prosperity, with Lazarus, JCPenney, and Sears anchoring a constellation of stores that made the East Side a destination. Through the 1980s and early 1990s, families wandered beneath its skylights, the hum of commerce echoing through every wing. But as the anchors slipped away, Sears in 2001, Lazarus in 2005, JCPenney in 2008, the mall's fortunes darkened. By 2015, the last tenants had fled, and the building was shuttered, its fate tangled in a web of failed redevelopment schemes and mounting code violations. The legal saga reached a surreal climax in 2022, when the property owner was hauled before Columbus Municipal Court, case CM 2022-0845, charged with contempt for failing to secure the abandoned site. The court imposed a $75,000 fine and ordered the owner to address hazards, but the spectacle did not end there. In a strange twist, the city issued a carnival permit for a traveling fair to set up on the cracked parking lot, turning the ruins into a temporary Midway while legal wrangling played out behind closed doors. The courthouse and the Midway, two unlikely neighbors, became symbols of a property caught between decay and denial. Demolition finally arrived in 2019, erasing the last traces of Eastland's retail past. Where escalators once ferried shoppers between levels, a community college satellite campus now rises, its classrooms and walkways repurposing the land for a new kind of gathering. Eastland's story lingers as a study in municipal complexity, a place where courtroom transcripts and carnival rides briefly intersected, and where the ghosts of retail have given way, not to warehouses, but to the slow, hopeful work of education. Number 4. Euclid Square Mall in Euclid completes the strange triangle of Ohio retail ground, reborn as Amazon's new empire. When it opened in 1977, Euclid Square was a beacon for the east side of Cleveland, with Sears, JCPenney, and Higbee's anchoring a lattice of nearly 110 shops, their neon signs glowing above the endless parking lots. For decades, the mall hummed with the rituals of suburban life, holiday crowds, Saturday matinees, the low murmur of families drifting beneath skylights. But by 2006, every tenant had vanished, leaving only echoes in the empty corridors and the faded logos of anchors long since departed. The end came swiftly. In 2017, Amazon secured a lease option on the property, backed by $2 million in tax increment financing and a council eager for new jobs. Demolition began that fall, the last fragments of concrete and steel swept away for a 650,000 square foot warehouse. By 2020, the fulfillment center stood in place of the vanished mall, employing 1,050 workers, an industrial hive where shopping carts once rattled. The irony is hard to ignore. The very force that hollowed out Ohio's retail palaces now claims their land, transforming the bones of consumer nostalgia into the machinery of e-commerce. Euclid Square's afterlife is pure paradox, a mall erased so that Amazon's promise of next-day delivery can rise in its place. Coming to the top 3, Forest Fair Mall in Fairfield stands as the most extravagant miscalculation in Ohio's mall history, a monument to the limits of retail ambition and the dangers of believing bigger is always better. When its doors opened in 1988, the numbers alone seemed to guarantee success. A staggering $250 million was poured into construction, more than any other mall in the state. The pitch was bold, not just shopping, but spectacle. It included a 100,000 square foot entertainment zone called Time Out, complete with a brewery and restaurant, a mini golf course, and the country's first licensed daycare inside a mall. Families could drop off their children, grab a craft beer, and catch a movie at the 12-screen theater, all under one roof. But the dream proved too heavy for its foundation. Within a decade, Forest Fair's developer was buried under $45 million in debt, and the mall cycled through 5 desperate rebrandings, each new name promising revival. Each one met with emptier corridors. By 1999, the property was in Chapter 11 bankruptcy. The entertainment complex, once echoing with laughter and neon, became a silent maze of shuttered attractions and flickering lights. Demolition began in 2015. It was a slow, piecemeal erasure of what had been Ohio's largest experiment in experiential retail. Today, the site is a blank slate, waiting for a logistics park to rise where carousels once turned. Forest Fair's colossal financial collapse is more than a cautionary tale. It is a warning etched in concrete and debt about the cost of chasing spectacle at the edge of decline. Number 2. Columbus City Center stands as the cautionary heart of Ohio's downtown mall collapse, a monument to the rise and fall of urban retail dreams. When it opened in 1989, the city center promised to revive Columbus's core, a shimmering 3-story labyrinth of glass and marble, home to nearly 150 stores and anchored by Lazarus, JCPenney, and Sears. The Rouse Company's vision was ambitious, not just another suburban outpost, but a civic centerpiece drawing crowds from office towers and neighborhoods alike. For a decade, its escalators hummed with shoppers, its atrium lit by the pulse of city life. But the tides shifted. The 1995 debut of Polaris Fashion Place on the city's edge siphoned away the lifeblood of downtown commerce. Anchor stores peeled away, with JCPenney leaving in 1999, Sears in 2000, and Lazarus by 2004, leaving empty wings and shuttered storefronts in their wake. The city purchased the property in 2006, chasing a mixed-use revival that never quite materialized. By 2009, the last gates rolled down, and demolition permits signaled the end of an era. Between 2010 and 2012, the mall's bones were picked clean, its shell torn open to the sky. In its place, a civic plaza and a hotel now sprawl across the block, a new gathering space, but one stripped of retail's old rituals. The story of City Center is a reminder that even the urban heart is not immune to retail's unraveling. Where fountains once splashed and crowds once surged, only the echo of vanished commerce remains, and the plaza's open expanse whispers of everything lost, and everything that might yet return. And finally, in first place, Randall Park Mall in North Randall stands as the ultimate monument to the rise and fall of American retail. A place where the scale of ambition collided headlong with the cold logic of the digital age. When it opened in October 1976, Randall Park billed itself as the world's largest shopping center, 2.2 million square feet of polished terrazzo and glass, crowned with 6 anchors and a Holiday Inn. At its peak, the mall employed nearly 5,000 workers, more than triple the town's population, filling every corridor, food court, and parking lot with a relentless tide of commerce and community. Payroll records from the late 70s reveal a $71 million annual wage bill, a figure that once seemed to guarantee prosperity for North Randall's 1,500 residents. But as the years wore on, the anchors began to slip away. Montgomery Ward shuttered in 2001, J.C. Penney closed in 2003, and Sears held on until 2009, before the lights finally went dark. By the time the city acquired the vacant shell in 2016 for $2.5 million, the echoes of the past had faded into silence, the vast interior stalked only by stray security guards and the memories of a vanished crowd. The final act came with a $3 million tax abatement, and a deal that transformed the ruins into an Amazon fulfillment center, a $150 million 2-story warehouse built atop the bones of retail grandeur. The irony is almost too perfect. Where once 5,000 people punched time cards in a living city of shops, today 1,200 workers tend to robots and conveyor belts, moving boxes for a company whose very model helped kill the mall. The land that once promised endless possibility now hums with the ceaseless rhythm of e-commerce. The world's largest mall erased and replaced by the machinery of its own undoing. Randall Park's story is not just the end of an era, it is the closing argument for a century of American shopping. A place where the ghosts of retail gather in the shadow of Amazon's blue logo, haunting the future with the memory of what once was. Across all 11 ruins, one truth lingers in the dust. Consumer dreams fade, but their ghosts haunt the landscape. Malls that once promised community now yield to Amazon's silent, sprawling warehouses, commerce replacing itself, memory overwritten by efficiency. In these empty spaces, we glimpse what's lost when convenience wins. What do we trade away when we forget where we gathered?